returning to the band Crass, they provide another example of musicians that purposely present opposing or contradictory points of view to illustrate their opinions. All the members of Crass wore black military-style clothing on and off stage. Additionally, they introduced a stage backdrop to their shows that featured a logo design that was often interpreted as a fascist logo because of its militaristic imagery. Crass responded to criticism by saying the intention of their uniform appearance wasn't a promotion of fascism. It was simply a statement against the cult of personality. So, in contrast to most rock bands, no member of the Crass collective could be identified as the leader. Crass believed everybody is equal, there should be no leaders. They also understood image as an attention-grabbing tool. In terms of their logo, Crass said it was an amalgam of several icons of authority, including the Christian cross, the swastika, the Union Jack, and a two-headed Ouroboros that symbolized the idea that power will eventually destroy itself. It seems, therefore, Crass deliberately utilized mixed messaging or contradictory statements to encourage their audience to think about what was being said and to form their own opinions. Using deliberately mixed messaging was clearly part of the Crass strategy of presenting themselves as a barrage of contradictions, challenging audiences to, in the words of one Crass member, make your own fucking minds up. One such barrage of contradictions was their juxtaposition of loudly played aggressive music as an artistic statement or method of promoting a pacifist message. Their 1980 single Bloody Revolutions was a benefit release that raised £20,000. The lyrics were partially a response to violence marring one of their gigs. That gig had been intended as a benefit for a group of anarchists facing conspiracy charges. However, as the gig progressed, anti-fascists in the audience attacked British movement neo-Nazis in attendance. And that mix of ideological opposed audience members at the same gig illustrates the issue with making purposely ambivalent comments or statements. Very different views will likely collide at the same event. Responding to the violence at the gig, Crass afterwards argued organisations such as Rock Against Racism were causing audiences to become polarised into left and right-wing factions, rather than joining together to hear out each other's views. Afterwards, Crass members largely blamed the left-wing elements in the audience for instigating the violence. However, many of the band's left-wing followers felt the band failed to understand the violence to which they were constantly subjected from right-wing audience members. Whatever the rights and wrongs of the situation, subsequent questions about the band were raised in Parliament, and an attempted prosecution by a Conservative Party MP under the UK's Obscene Publications Act for their single How Does It Feel to Be the Mother of 1,000 Dead made Crass question their purpose to exist as an art form. During their 7-year existence, Crass gave away many thousands of pounds to causes ranging from CND to striking miners. Though giving away money to their left-wing chosen causes attracted the attention of MI5, and they were as a result investigated. Crass also rejected offers from major record labels after the labels promised to help them market revolution, a commercial stance that Crass found utterly repellent. In fact, Crass didn't need the assistance of a cynical mainstream record company to market and make money from their revolution. Crass had become increasingly successful under their own DIY punk ethos and efforts. They sold 20,000 singles in a week, with no advertising and no BBC airplay. They repeatedly managed this by utilising a combination of shock, humour and a provocative graphic style. Ironically, the success Crass increasingly experienced was a situation they weren't entirely comfortable with. They felt their success was a partial sellout of their punk ideals. Consequently, Crass members even became fearful of going on holiday in case they were seen as sellouts. As time went by, they became increasingly disillusioned with the notion that their initial anarchist-pacifist politics were really the answer to what they opposed the most, Thatcherism. Crass became unwitting and uneasy heroes in a movement they created. Their apparently contradictory points of view made the band enemies of both left and right wings of the political spectrum. The Falklands War, at the height of Thatcherism, saw Crass at their most politically active. Their single, How Does It Feel to Be the Mother of 1,000 Dead, easily sold enough copies to make the top 10 in its week of release. Oddly, despite its huge sales, it didn't appear anywhere in the top 100 of the BBC charts during the time they were investigated by MI5 and, by association, the establishment. Though musically miles apart, Crass and Morrisey shared some characteristics and strategies and lyrical subject matter. For example, the antipathy and deep-felt repellence of Thatcherism was a political stance Crass shared with Morrisey.